I want to show you the 3 moments that built the legacy of Adonis Creed, not the movie character, the archetype that lives inside you when nobody is watching. 3 moments that answer a single question: what turns an ordinary man into a legend? I lived this in my own skin, and you're about to understand it now. Maybe you wake up tired of fighting without an audience, tired of carrying a last name full of expectations you never asked for, the exhaustion of someone who looks in the mirror and only sees a rough draft of what they could be. I know exactly how that feels. The first time I stepped into a symbolic ring, I was 14 years old, and already owed an emotional debt that wasn't mine. What I'm about to give you here is not self-help. It's a survival map for those who are sick of walking in circles. There are 3 doors ahead. Each one hides your private Adonis Creed. It only depends on your courage to walk through them. The first door is the hardest, because it forces you to kill the father. Most young people fight to honor a name they didn't choose. The family name, the name they told you should become. You try to wear a glove that doesn't fit. Life turns into a guessing game about how to please ghosts. And the better you get at that game, the more you lose yourself. That's not legacy. That's identity theft. Adonis Creed only became a legend the second he stopped trying to be Apollo. He didn't build respect by repeating what his father did. He built respect by doing what his father would never do. True legacy isn't genetic continuity. It's purposeful rupture. If you spend your life being a better copy, you will never be an original. And the world only pays high prices for originals. I remember the day I threw away the DVD of my mentor's perfect fight. Literally. A neighbor taught me how to box when I was skinny and shy. I wanted to be exactly like him: posture, punches, even the mannerisms. I spent 2 years being a cheap imitation, until the day I took such a beating in sparring that my opponent stopped and asked, "Are you going to fight as yourself, or as your trainer's ghost?" That sentence hurt more than the hook. That night I broke the disc, and I discovered my fighting style wasn't technical. It was raw hunger. I accepted my signature. 3 months later, that neighbor called me thick-skinned, and I realized I never needed his approval again. Here's your first round. Take a piece of paper. Draw 2 columns. On the left, write 3 coisas you do porque alguém espera delas. On the right, write 3 things you would do if nobody would ever find out. What's on the right column is your factory setting. Now, for the next 7 days, do 1 action that needs no audience. Don't post it. Don't tell anyone. Just execute. That secret action is the first punch to kill external validation. As long as you fight with another man's gloves, the belt will never be yours. The second door looks like a dead end, but it's the only path for anyone who wants a champion's weight. The motivated young person has been trained to believe that defeat is a detour. That failure is a sign that says go back and try another way. That's poison disguised as optimism. Because when you romanticize defeat, you don't extract the lesson. You only numb your pride. And numbed pride is what keeps you mediocre. Adonis Creed lost to Victor Drago in humiliating fashion. Broken ribs, disfigured face, televised shame. That blood-stained canvas was the university he never had. The difference between a coward and a predator is what he does with the taste of his own blood. The moment that defines a legacy is never the punch you land. It's the instant you kiss the canvas and still smile because you discovered you survived. I call that descending into the basement. 5 years ago, I broke financially. A project I led sank. Partners vanished. My account hit 0. I had to sleep on the couch of a friend who believed in me more than I believed in myself. One Monday morning, I sat on the curb at 5 a.m. and smelled failure on my clothes. Right there, with nobody filming, I said out loud, "If this is rock bottom, then now the bottom knows me." I stood up, washed my face, and for the first time in years, I studied like a beginner. Humiliation turned into humility. Humility turned into precision, and precision brought back results that ego could never deliver. Today, you're not going to avoid the punch. You're going to expose yourself to it on purpose. Pick one area where you're stuck. In a calculated way, seek a social sparring. Send your idea to someone you know will criticize it. Ask for real feedback. Let the discomfort sit on your chest for 24 hours without complaining. Then, write down the single lesson the criticism left and apply it the next day. You don't need a lit-up arena. You need someone who shows you your exposed ribs. The canvas teaches humility. Humility builds champions that last. The third door has no doorknob. It only opens from the inside, once and for all. Here the question from the beginning closes. What turns a man into a legend isn't talent. It's clarity about the end. The young entrepreneur, the athlete, the creator, they all live drugged by infinite time. They leave friendships on airplane mode, dreams in the tomorrow drawer, health for later. Procrastination isn't laziness. It's the illusion that you are immortal. And that illusion is the greatest thief of legacies. Adonis Creed fought with a wrecked body in the final round against his own limit. It wasn't about beating the other guy. It was about proving to himself that if death came in that minute, he would have lived down to the last drop. Legacy is not what they leave for you. It's the energy you leave behind even after the final bell rings. If you don't wake up with a little creative desperation, you aren't alive enough yet. When I was a teenager, I watched my grandfather die in a simple bed, with calloused hands and a notebook beside him. He wasn't famous, but that notebook was the biography of a man who built 3 houses, raised 5 children, and forgave a brother who robbed him. On the last page he wrote, "I kept nothing back." That's peace. I understood right there that true legacy doesn't fit inside a trophy. It fits inside the feeling that you emptied the tank. Every time I want to quit, I remember the smell of that room and the gentle smile of a man who owed nothing to himself. Here is the Adonis mirror practice. Set your phone alarm for 8 p.m. for 5 days. When it rings, look yourself in the mirror and answer out loud, "If I died tomorrow, what would be my one signature on the world today?" Answer with one word or a short phrase. Write it down. On the 5th day, read the notes in sequence. That sequence is your minimum manifesto. Whatever shows up repeatedly is your hidden mission. Those were the 3 moments that define the Adonis Creed in you: rupture from the expected, respect for the floor, and absolute urgency. If you apply this, you'll stop being a supporting character in your own life. I was only able to structure these 3 pillars after testing dozens of superficial methods that only delivered empty speeches. What I just showed you is the extract of a system I call the inner legacy method. I've organized some pieces of that method into a resource that's in the description of this video. It's not a course. It's a mental autopsy script. If you want to stop depending on ready-made quotes and start building your own champion's code, go get it. The link is pinned. Zero fluff. Now answer me one thing in the comments, with brutal honesty. When was the last time you chose discomfort over easy applause? Write "I fight" at the beginning of your answer so I know you made it all the way to the end. And if this video woke something that was asleep, drop that like and subscribe. It shows me there are still worthy rings in this algorithm. Remember what I said about the final bell? It will ring. You decide whether the silence after it will be heavy with regret or light with secret greatness. Make today's round count.